Welcome back to the National Extreme Festival action, the penultimate round of this championship down in Cape Town. We're at Killarney International Raceway and the crowds have come out in their hordes to come and see National Championship racing again. Investchem Formula 1600s are up next on the show, and this is the biggest prize fund in South African motorsport at the moment. 250,000 Rand up for grabs, and there is certainly some big battles still to be sorted out here on the black stuff of Cape Town, and the final round, of course, at Swartkops. Important to see a couple of drivers not back. Sia is, but Evan Holtzhausen isn't. Alex Voss with some issues, though. Let's find out what's gone wrong with his car.
We've had a sort of ECU-driven misfire with the car intermittently cutting out. So we'll be starting at the back of the grid for both races. So it's going to be a tough weekend from here on out, but we'll see what we can do. We've made a few changes to the car, so we'll keep our fingers crossed that the problem rights itself for the next two races.
Josh LaRue will be looking to take more victories here this weekend at the Killarney International Raceway. Let's catch up with him.
Plan for the races, hopefully from lap 1, get out in first through turn 1 and just hopefully keep it like that. So very excited and very confident as well. After qualifying going phenomenal, half a second faster than anyone else. So very, very excited.
That's going to be a tough margin for Gerard Gildenhuys and Antoine Gildenhuys to try and close down if he's half a second up the road. Josh LaRue is on the front row alongside his championship rival Gerard Gildenhuys. Siyabonga Monkonkwana and Antoine are alongside each other for the second row with Dolan Schofield and Kutsia there. Nick Van Wheelie in a new car, new chassis for him as well ahead of Storm Lanphier, and we already heard from Alex Voss. He'll be starting from the back here on board with him as we get ready to go now for race 1 of the Formula 1600s. Good start there from Voss. Looks like he might just be able to get through and make a way past Storm Lanphier as they head towards turn 1. Is he going to try and squeeze through there as well on Van Wheelie as they come around the outside into Hole's Hook for the first time? Van Wheelie, as I said, in the new chassis. He's decided to go with the Margales as opposed to the car he was in previously. He's going to take a little while to get used to that. This is Schofield's point of view. And the Fly Sapphire car going down in towards turn 2, moving himself up into 4th place just behind Gerard and Antoine Gildenhuys. But it's Josh LaRue who leads out as they come down towards the kink and towards Damps for the first time. Great line there from Schofield to try and squeeze through on Monkonkwana. It looks like Monkonkwana also lost out there to Troy Dolanchik. Dolanchik running some new colours on that car as well. Great to see him now starting to come into his own. And watch out for him here, particularly at this weekend and his home track. He's going to have a little bit of an advantage here, possibly over a couple of the other guys who haven't had quite as much experience around this circuit. This is what it looks like from Dolanchik's point of view as they go down that back straightaway for the first time. 215, 220 k's an hour. They hit that little, there it is, the little bump, and then it's hard on the brakes down into Cape Town corner, just waiting for that bump to come into play. And then it's hard on those anchors to get them into Fostron corner. As they come out, though, they are losing ground there big time. We heard from Josh, he's got about half a second advantage. I don't know if the Gildenhuys boys there for Abacus Racing Divisions have been able to find an answer to that pace. Comes Antoine, trying to find a way through on his brother, and he does it absolutely perfect into turn 1. Slots up into 2nd place, demotes his brother Gerard down into 3rd, into the clutches there of Dolanchik, who's got through on Schofield as well. So a bit of chopping and changing there for 1st and 2nd, well, 2nd and 3rd, as well as down in 4th and 5th. They're not holding back here, that is for sure. Great driving there from Troy Dolanchik. As I said, his home track is definitely going to have a bit of advantage. And that Sultan car is definitely putting the pressure onto the back end of Gildenhuys. Monkonkwana coming along for the ride now also. He's tucked in behind Schofield as they head down towards Damps. Great start here from Dolanchik. Can he find a way through? Maybe squeeze out both of those Gildenhuys boys, get himself up onto the podium. I don't know if he's going to have the pace to catch Josh LaRue, but he'll definitely look to maybe get to the front end, at least of the second pack of cars. He's already looking. He had a big dive coming out of Malmesbury there, showed the wheel, showed the nose, and try to find a way through. Let's see if he's got the ability now on the slipstream effect. He is going on the slipstream. He's going to try and go with Antoine, who seems to have a slightly later braking. In fact, what do you mean later braking? He outbraked both the Gildenhuys boys. In fact, Gerard goes a little bit high and wide and locks it up. And there comes Troy Dolanchik up in 2nd place. What a move there from Troy. He came up on the inside looking for the slipstream. He got the slipstream from Antoine. Antoine went defensive to keep his brother out, and Gerard went high and wide, locked up, and actually started sliding over the banking. Very lucky to avoid being taken by not only Andrew Schofield, who's now applying pressure, but Monkonkwana is there too. So Gerard Gildenhuys losing out a huge amount of advantage there as they went into Cape Town corner. We're on board with Sia. He's behind Schofield as they head towards turn 2. Oh, running wide, Schofield puts a wheel on the dirt. That's not what you want to do in a single-seater. That can do some damage. Looks like it just cost him a little bit of drive into turn 2, but he managed to hang on to the inside line, and Sia had no answer other than to slot in behind the Fly Sapphire car. So it's Investchem versus Fly Sapphire. Sultan versus Abacus Racing Divisions, both of their competitors. And it's Antoine who leads out and has the advantage over Gerard at this point in time. The championship is wide open. Remember, there's still lots of fighting action to happen. Look in the background as well. Haven't mentioned Jason Kutsia. He's the man who has the big fireball car in East London. They managed to sort that car out, and he's got Alex Voss on his tail, and then there's Van Wheelie. Van Wheelie running in the Margell now. Super to see him in that new chassis, but as I said, it's probably going to take him a little while to get used to it. Van Diemen was good, but the Margell seemed to be a slightly better combination here, and that's why he's decided to change up that chassis. And he's been in that other chassis basically for his entire career in Formula 1600s. So it will take a little while to get used to it. There's no worries at all for Josh Leroux. Look at the gap he's pulled now. Dolenschek up in a second, pulling away now from Anton Geldenhuys. Gerard Geldenhuys in fourth place, under pressure there from Schofield and Monkonkwana. This is a super drive here from Troy Dolenschek. Definitely a man to watch out for in the future, particularly in this championship. And remember, he'll be looking to try and go into this championship next year, possibly with Josh moving on, or one of the championship contenders moving on. Whoever it is at the end of the season is going to be a tough position to fill. Here they come. Monkonkwana has got ahead now of Schofield. Schofield's got Voss on his tail. Look at Alex Voss. He's found a way through on Jason Kutsia. Kutsia not really having an answer there. And then just behind that, look at where Anton Geldenhuys has ended up. What has gone wrong there with Anton Geldenhuys? He was up in the second place at one stage. He was fighting for the lead at one point in this race, and now has dropped right out the back into 8th. That's definitely not what Anton Geldenhuys wanted here this weekend, that is for sure. Josh Leroux doing it all right at the front. Dolenschek in second, and equidistant there behind him is both Gerard Geldenhuys and then Siyabonga Monkonkwana. The fight's on between Voss, Kutsia and Schofield as they head onto that back straightaway. The three of them might be able to use the advantage of 3 cars together as they come to the checkered flag to try and close the gap down on Monkonkwana, but I think Sia's going to hang on. Sia's going to hang on for a 4th place. A little bit of a maneuver there from Jason Kutsia, but Voss saw him coming, shut the door. So it's every man for himself, and it's probably going to be line astern to the checkered flag, with Josh Leroux going to take the first victory here on the day for Investchem Formula 1600s. Race 1 heads down into Leroux's camp. He'll be pretty excited with that and moving very much into a commanding point in this championship. Ahead of Troy Dolenschek for 2nd, and Gerard Geldenhuys comes through for 3rd place for Abacus Divisions Racing. Monkonkwana in 4th place beats out Schofield and Alex Voss. Kutsia, Anton Geldenhuys, Nick Van Wheelie and Storm Lanfear, your top 10. And what if there's team orders down at Abacus Divisions Racing?
Yeah, no, there isn't, of course, but you know, the best driver will eventually come out on top. But it was a tough race at the beginning and flip-flopping between me and my brother, but unfortunately a mechanical issue on my car saw me drop back to the grid. But he did extremely well, and it's extremely good for the team.
I think Gerard will just confirm there's no team orders in this team.
Yeah, my brother and I had a dice, but there was no team orders, so we were free to race. He overtook me in the beginning, which was quite difficult to get back. Troy then came back when I was trying to overtake him again, and I had to take matters in my own hands and then overtake a few more cars to get back to where I was, and then I was able to overtake him and take 3rd place.